What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of HermitPack on the HermitCraft server. Oh yeah, guys. So I've been doing some stuff off camera around here. Yeah, last time we actually got all the machines cleaned up in this area, except for our tinker stuff. So those are on the wall. We did that last time. I've been taking care of this room back here, which was kind of like a big, open, unfinished room that we had before. It's still kind of open and unfinished, but I put in walls and I put in like a little divider right here. So we have like, yeah, a room separator, I guess. We'll probably put in another one, separate off the mob spawner. But yeah, I set this up over here so we can kind of go from this room to over here. Previously, we had the, I can't remember the actually additions thing where the, what was it? The display stands and the other thing with the infuser kind of a deal. Anyway, that was back here. I removed that so I could put up all this stuff. We'll figure out where that's going to go later. Over here, we had our nether portal, and I was trying to figure out how to get this thing to work. We had the nether portal on the wall, and then I put up these walls here. I guess the nether portal was up against the wall, and we put in our finished walls. And I couldn't really get it to line up right, so I tried making the portal bigger and all of this kind of stuff. Anyway, I just can't figure out how to do this with it set up like this in the nether portal. So I think what we're going to end up doing is making this right here, putting the portal behind it. So like you walk upstairs and you just go right into the nether portal. I think that'll look pretty good. So we'll get rid of like this little alcove area back here. And this guy, this deep dark portal, I was almost thinking we could do something like we could walk up the stairs onto it, kind of a deal like this, right? Obviously we'll make that polished back here. In fact, let's just do that right now. Go ahead and do something like that, I guess. So if we want to go to the deep dark, we just walk right here and it starts taking us there. We'll have to remove that and place, well, I don't know if we want that particular block or one of these ceiling blocks there. But anyway, that's what I'm kind of thinking. Maybe we'd do too high. Maybe. Obviously, it's not bright back there. We want some kind of lighting setup. I think people are telling me in the comments, though, we can use the Chisel and Bits mod to put lights around. I don't know. Does that work like the Forge multi-part thing where you saw glowstone into like the little glowstone nooks and then those emit light? I haven't tried this yet. Anyway, these are just things I'm kind of thinking about. So we'll just go ahead and tear all of this down. Yeah, unfortunately, that's a lot of the stuff that I've been doing off camera here is placing down walls, placing down things and being like, does this work? Is this what we want? No, let's move it. Let's move it over a little bit. Let's change where the doorway is, change where the entryway is and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's fun. I like building and walling things off and making rooms as much as anybody else does. But, you know, it kind of gets tedious after a while, after a bunch of trial and error. You know what? That is going to stay right there. Get rid of this. Yep. And I think, like I said, we'll probably do stairs like that. And I guess we'll do like a 3x3 nether portal. I don't see why we shouldn't do that. I do have a little bit of the obsidian on me, so I guess we can get that started right now. So we'll do that, a little bit of that, and up there. Okay, so the only thing we need now is a back wall on this, so we don't, when we try to go to the nether, we don't go all the way through. Gonna get that. And like so. Yeah, and then we just need to light that on fire. Let me go grab a flint and steel. Actually, I do have one on me because I was messing around with this a little bit earlier. So we can do that. Cool. All right. Do we want it right there? Should be moved over a little bit. I don't know. These are things, like I said, these are things I don't know how to do. And I'm just kind of like messing around with it, trying to figure out the best way. I mean, we could center this portal in this wall, right? Then we could have the deep dark over here, or we could have the deep dark over there. I mean, these little things, I guess they don't really matter, but they kind of do as far as aesthetics goes. So these are things that I'll probably work on off camera. Mining the obsidian isn't that big of a deal, but yeah. Anyway, so things that I wanted to work on today besides walling things off and polishing up a little bit. I do want to look at getting some kind of automated resource collecting happening here. So far, we've dug down into the mines down below. By the way, that the purple and black thing, the chisel mod don't have textures in this version for some reason. I'm not sure why. If you hold it in your hand, it looks really weird too. It's like a big block kind of a thing. What's that? That's really big, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, so the chisel mod doesn't have textures in this pack, or I guess in this version of the mod pack. So thus far, like I said, we've been mining down here. Yep. We've done some branch mining. You can see it better on the mini map. I've dug out all of this stuff. We've done some mining in the deep dark, but anytime we need resources, I have to stop what I'm doing, gear up, grab iron to repair my tools, and then head off and go to the mines, and it takes forever. You guys know what mining's all about in Minecraft, right? Everybody does mining in Minecraft. But I think we've reached a point in this modded playthrough so far where I think we can start looking at automations. We have a decent supply for fuel now. Yeah, I went ahead and I filled this thing up. This is powering our base here, our refined storage. We have another ultimate. I put in pressure plates last episode. I don't think I mentioned that at all. They're obsidian ones, so mobs won't activate them. We have a decent way of making gas over here. So we have another ultimate gas tank full of 512 buckets of the stuff. Yep. So that's pretty cool. We should probably look at making more of these gas tanks over here, and so we can have a lot more storage for our potential power. Yeah, we got a lot of things going on here. I think it's time to upgrade from manual mining to automated mining. Now, there's a couple of different ways we can do it in this mod pack. We do have RF tools, and there's the RF tools builder that you can give like these different upgrades to. So you can do like a fortune quarry, or you can do a silk touch quarry. The problem with these, it's a small problem, but it is a problem. You have to set it up. Oh, mine on area. You can set it so it fills it back in with dirt, kind of like the old extra utilities ender quarry thing worked. Or you can have it so it just digs a big hole and just leave nothing behind. The problem is once it finishes up, you have to go there and you have to move it and you have to set everything up again. I honestly don't know how big of the quarry you can make with that. It might be to the point where you can make it so big you never have to move it. Or maybe it's only 64 by 64. I don't know. I haven't really looked into it too much. But I do know it's a good alternative or a good different way of quarrying. I was also looking for different quarries in the pack. There is this, I guess, a quantum quarry. Mine blocks from a hypothetical dimension that might have existed. Requires actuators to be attached to all sides. So this is kind of like, I guess, a laser drill kind of a thing. You pump in power, you get items out. This is new to extra utilities too. Let's see. There's also, I think it's from environmental tech, if I know how to spell. Yeah, there's like these void ore miners, which I think is kind of the same thing as the extra utilities one. I'm actually kind of interested. I want to check this one out at some point. I know a couple of people on the server have already been doing that. I'm interested in the extra utilities one though. This seems kind of interesting. It's new. I've never seen anybody use this before, so I would like to try it, but it does require another star. That's a little bit of a problem since we don't have that. Also requires end rods. We haven't really been to the end yet. Like, we fought the dragon, and that's as far into the end as I've ever been. We do have flight now, so we can go to the end. We could explore around a little bit, collect ourselves an end rod. We could go to the nether and get ourselves some wither skeleton skulls. We have an area right here where we can spawn in skeletons, the wither skeletons, if we make a spawner out of them, right? And then we could collect the wither skeleton skulls automatically. I think these are good things that we should start looking at. So let's do the first thing that I think should be on our checklist. Let's go to the nether. We'll get ourselves a wither skeleton. Yeah, we'll get ourselves a wither skeleton. We'll make a spawner out of it. We'll start spawning it in. See if we can get the wither skeleton skulls quite quickly. It does look like there's a way we can duplicate the stars, but it does a little bit of durability damage to this tome. I think people have been talking about this, a way to duplicate the nether stars. I haven't actually seen that work yet, so I don't know if we'll mess around with that. Probably at some point in the future. But anyway, guys, let me go to the nether. We'll go collect ourselves a wither skeleton and a soul vial. We'll make a spawner out of it, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, well I went to the nether and I got myself a wither skeleton. Just got done making the powered spawner for it. We put an octadic capacitor in this thing. Yeah, and it's set to only work with a high redstone signal. This is turned to off. Yeah, and I think all of our other spawners are set to be like that as well. So let's go ahead and pop in here. We'll get rid of the one that we were using for the fishies last time. What are they called? The guardians? Yeah, we'll go and do that. We'll put the wither skeleton one right here. Right, we're still hooked up to the other generators down there. I need to switch that out. Yeah, we need to get all of our power hooked up to the same central location. Yeah, that's these guys. Our Sterling generators down here making a lot of sound. I don't know. I don't think that really comes through in the video too much, but it like sounds really loud in my headphones anyway. So let's go ahead and turn this thing on. We should start spawning in a bunch of wither skeletons. Hopefully this works. Sometimes I've seen it before where you tell a spawner to make wither skeletons and then it just makes regular ones. No, that seems to be working just fine, right? Okay, so they all go down there. They are only being killed with the diamond spike, so we are not looting them. So I'm not sure like how long it's going to take before we get a decent amount of skulls or any skulls at all. We got a drop of evil, which is kind of cool. What is this, a rock harp? Did that come from the Guardians last time? That might have. I don't remember seeing that before. Oh, I have my magnet turned on too. Let's turn that off. Okay, so we're going to be collecting a lot of bones. It looks like a lot of stone swords and all sorts of crazy things like that. So I'm going to let this run for a little while. I'll see about getting the spawner hooked up off those Sterling generators and over to our main power over here behind the wall. We might look at hooking up more than one generator though, because I don't know. Like this only does enough. Well, it does like, what, 8,000 RF per tick, I think? Anyway, I don't know if that's going to be enough to run a powered spawner and keep all of our other stuff going, like especially if we started using the machines. We might have to hook up another one of our generators over here. Anyway, we'll figure that out. Also, another thing you guys have told me in the comments is there is something from Ender.io called like an energy something. Let's actually look at this. No, it's not an energy thing. It's a power thing, right? So power monitor. This is the block that you guys have told me about. So what you said in the comments, or at least what somebody said in the comments, is this item is supposed to emit a redstone signal like it's configurable. You can emit a redstone signal based on power levels. So that sounds pretty awesome. That sounds exactly like what we're trying to do right here with the comparators and the redstone signals and stuff. Now, I've never used that block before. I don't know exactly how it works. I don't know. Ultimately, what I'd like is that when we reach a certain level, like say 30% of the capacitor power, it'll kick the gas burning generator on and it'll emit a redstone signal until we get up above 80%, right? And then when we reach that 80%, it'll turn the redstone signal off and then it'll let it slowly drain back down to 30% and then it'll turn the reactor, or I'm sorry, the gas burning generator back on. That's ultimately what I like to do. I don't know if this power monitor thing works like that. Maybe we can hook up two of them and then get some kind of a redstone signal thing happening where it'll work in that fashion. Anyway, I'll go ahead and build one of these things. I'll check it out. I don't think there's anything too super complex in the recipe here. I'll check that out. I'll hook it up, see if we can get that to work, and then we can maybe get rid of some of these repeaters and all this stuff. Anyway, guys, let me go ahead and get to it, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, well I've been busy off camera doing some things around here, so you can see the capacitor bank that we have is way bigger than it was before. Yes, I have made 5 additional vibrant capacitor banks, and we put them all together. It has a maximum input, maximum output of 150,000 RF per tick, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, that's what we're looking like right now. I did upgrade some of the cables that are coming from the generators into the capacitor bank, but the cables that are coming off the capacitor bank still are the second tier, the middle tier, the enhanced ones. Yeah, we need to upgrade those so we can push more power through. I'm just don't have a lot of ender pearls to make a lot of these other conduits right now. We'll try and fix that here in the future sometime soon. So yeah, we got 3 of these gas burning generators all pumping full of ethylene. We have them producing 8,000 RF per tick. They're about 7.89 RF per tick. Anyway, yeah, and those are all pumping into here. So I did figure out the power monitor. So the way this thing works is it has to be touching a power cord, I guess an energy conduit or something that's attached to your vibrant capacitor bank. It has to be part of that power network. So I have it attached right here. It's not using power, but it has to be attached so it can read all the stuff from the network, right? So it is, you can see how much power is inside the capacitor bank, the total amount of power right here. And if we click this button, yeah, we have it set to emit a redstone signal when we are less than 30% full, stop when storage is greater than or equal to 80% full. So that's exactly the item that I was looking for. So once we reach 30, it'll emit a redstone signal until we get above 80, and then I'll stop that redstone signal until it drops down to 30 again. So that way our generators aren't constantly going on, off, on, off, on, off. They just run off the battery for a while until it needs to be charged, and it charges it up, and then they turn off again. Perfect. It's exactly what we wanted. So after I got this thing all set up here, I kind of feel like this guy should be placed on the wall so we can look over and be like, oh, we're using power. We have this much power available. You can shift right click on these faces here and get like, you know, the power meter kind of a thing if you want to. Shift right click again. You get this one. I thought there was a way that you could make like a big screen and it'll show you how much is coming in, how much is going out. But I guess it doesn't show that. I don't know. So I only got one of these things being displayed right now. So yeah, that's what we got. I like it very much. So I also ran power cables off that over here. So we are running our wither skeletons off that. Oh, that skeleton had the ender sword, look like. Definitely wasn't a regular stone sword. Yeah, their drops are being collected down here like we saw. We're getting a decent amount of stuff. We're up to 50 wither skeleton skulls, which is awesome. So yeah, our drops being collected here. I did add in a couple more quantum storage. We need more than that. We've collected 1.5 thousand bones, and then over here we're collecting the coal that they're dropping as well. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to add one in for the withered ribs and one in for the drop of evil, and probably, depending on how long we go, the necrotic bones and the wither skeleton skulls. But for right now, that's going pretty well. I also did add in a item conduit here, which is extracting stone swords, ignoring the metadata. Any stone sword that comes in here, we're just putting right into a trash can, just deleting it. Yep, we don't want that around. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so we got a lot of these things taken care of that I wanted to get taken care of. Another thing that I want to do, we need to fight the wither boss and get that star, right? But we also want to go to, man, a lot of these guys are spawning with those different swords. I'm just now noticing. We want to go to the end and get the end rod as well. So I think our next stop is the end dimension. All right, guys. So before we go to the end and we start dealing with all the endermen and all of that kind of stuff, we're going to want to fight some so we can collect some pearls. We don't have a spawner set up for those just yet. What I'm going to want to do is upgrade our armor. We currently are still using unenchanted iron armor still. So yeah, I think it's time we get rid of this stuff. We're just going to go ahead and put that in the system. Hopefully we'll never have to look at the iron armor again. We're going to upgrade to dark steel stuff. Yes, I just got done making this. It's not so bad. We've had plenty of resources for a while to make it. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. Now what's cool about these is you can enchant them with different things. So like these vibrant crystals, for instance. If you put a vibrant crystal on dark leggings, it gives it the empowered, which means you can power it up with RF, and that way it won't just use the durability. It'll use the power that it has charged up, and then I'll use the durability. So you definitely want to do that. I believe once you put all these additional modifiers on here, you can also enchant it or use like a book or something and put protection or additional things like that on there, I think. A thing about the helmet, you can put empowered, sound locator, night vision, naturalist's eye. I'm not sure what that is. Apier's hat, so if you're working with bees or whatever, it'll protect you from like getting stung by them. And the one probe. But as we've seen right here, the one probe we have working already. There's a client configuration option. I talked about this before, where you don't have to have the item on you. It'll just work like, what am I looking at? That mod we've used in the previous packs or whatever. But if the server setting is turned on so you can't enable it without the item, yeah, then you could just put it on your helmet. You don't have to carry that extra item around. Anyway, we're going to put night vision on there as well. So we're just going to charge all these things up. They do require 4 levels of experience. So let me go and grab that. 4 levels of experience for each one of these different modifiers. At least I'm pretty sure it's 4. Yeah, that one requires 4 as well. So I'll just go ahead and just grab 4 levels for each one of these things. So that'll add the night vision on there. And you can see it also has this bar down here, which means it can now accept RF, which it wasn't able to do by default. So yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. We'll have to figure out also some way to keep those things charged. As we take damage, yeah, it's going to use the RF. And if that depletes, like I said, it'll start using the durability of the armor, and then it'll wear out over time. We really don't want that to happen. So anyway, we can put that back on. Yeah, we can see right here, it's only doing, I guess that's 8.5 shirts. Yeah. So it's not the best armor, but it is pretty good. It's better than the iron armor that we had previously anyway. And I think it'll protect us a lot better against those endermen. So now that we got a capacitor bank here that can do a lot of RF protect, we should be able to put those all in here, and then I'll charge them up quite quickly. It does draw a bunch of power as it's doing it, but yeah, now we are fully charged up. So that's kind of cool. It holds 100,000 RF per piece. I like it. So I guess, yeah, I'll have to figure out what we're going to do as far as keeping these things charged. Some kind of like a portable power storage or something along those lines. But yeah, just having power now, like we've had power for a while, but having a large amount of power on tap, very, very useful. but having it back here in this little cubby hole, not so convenient. So like I said, we'll probably stick it in the wall or something at some time in the future. But yeah, this is what we're looking like now. Looks kind of cool. I think the armor has been changed since the last time I used the dark steel armor. I think so. Anyway, let's head off to the end and we will continue on, guys. Alright guys, well here we are back in the end. We haven't been here since we killed the dragon, I don't think. Whoop. Looked at those guys immediately. I failed. Let me go and kill these guys. Alright, let me get away from the sound those things are making as well. So things that I'm noticing right away as we're here, there's a lot of resources like exposed. Now I remember when we were here like a long time ago. Give me those. Give me that. What is that purple thing? Oh, the nebulous heart. Where'd you go? Did you forget about me? I don't know. When we were here the last time, I remember going through and clearing out a lot of these resources. So I don't know if they just keep spawning over time. I don't know if that's what's going on or if people are respawning the Ender Dragon. It seems like there's a lot of ores that don't even belong here, right? Like these nether sapphire ores. I don't know if there's like some kind of a retro generation thing happening where every time somebody loads the end, it tries to spawn in all the ores again. Honestly, I don't know. What is this? We got like netherrack here. These are cinnabar or, huh? Is there anything under the end islands? Like we haven't really explored the end at all. Yeah, I guess those ores go all the way through. That's kind of interesting. So anyway, what we are interested in is collecting some ender pearls. Yeah, and then we also want to try and use these portal things here and try and go to the end cities. I have never done that before in Minecraft. Those end cities I think were added in 1.9. I really haven't played modded or vanilla Minecraft since 1.8. So let me go ahead and kill these guys real quick, get some more pearls. Can they not hit me if I'm flying a little bit above the ground? I'm not sure. Looks like we did take a little bit of durability damage to our leggings here. Okay, how many ender pearls? We got 4. I guess they are. Okay, well, let me get away from the sound. I guess they are doing a little bit of damage to my armor, so I'm not really sure what the RF does. Maybe that just reduces damage taken. Anyway, I thought that the RF was supposed to like nullify all damage taken. So we now have ender pearls. I know people have been here to the end, so it might be a moment before we can actually find what we're looking for, but let's throw a pearl through one of these. And we end up somewhere else. So I know most of these NCs have probably been explored, but all we're looking for is just an end rod, and it looks like people are just leaving those here, which is awesome. Yoink. Oh, I don't have my magnet on. I guess I should probably get that turned on. Where did that go? I think I got it. Yeah, we got one end rod. Cool. So that's the thing we were looking for. Yeah, I'd like to go explore these things at some point in the future. I'm sure all the loot has been looted from there. There's like shulkers and all sorts of crazy things that I've never really looked at before. There's also the chorus fruit, which I don't think is super useful, except if you wanted to make the purple blocks. But anyway, this is pretty much all we need. I guess I'll collect a few more of those while we're here. Might as well, right? Is that the shulker making that? Oh yeah, look at that. There's some of these guys on the side over here. I don't think I've seen these guys before in the game. Huh. Anyway, that's kind of cool. Well, we'll go ahead and try and find ourselves one of those portals back. Looks like right here, right where we came through. Yep. All right, cool. So we'll do like a proper exploration of the end at some time in the future. But we got what we came for. Let's head back. Well, guys, now that we got the end rod, the other part of this is to kill ourselves a wither boss. Now, I was trying to figure out the best way to do this. I know there's like the spot in the nether where you can piston push the wither boss into like obsidian and you can just hit it or whatever. But this is modded Minecraft. We don't have to do it the vanilla way. So what I'm currently doing is making a bunch of dark steel. Yeah, we're making more of this stuff. We're using dark steel and we're making a reinforced obsidian. This is witherproof stuff. So you can make a box, spawn the wither inside of the box, and the wither won't be able to escape. So if you make the box with like a little hole in it, for instance, like something like this, you can just sit there and smack the wither boss. If it hits you, you're about to die, back off, whatever. Yeah. So that is what the current plan is going to be. So I am making up a lot of these blocks. Yeah. So I think from my experience in the past, you want to make it 3 blocks wide on the center. So it's a 3x3, so you need 9 blocks for the bottom and 9 blocks for the top, right? And you want to make it 4 blocks tall, otherwise the wither boss can sometimes glitch out. Anyway, so we're gonna need a lot of these blocks. I think I was thinking it was like 18 for the top and bottom and like 48 for the sides or something. I can't remember the exact numbers, but yeah, it's a lot of this dark steel that we have to make. So I've been making use of these torch-arenas because this stuff just takes a long time in order for us to create it. I just got done making a whole bunch of obsidian, so I think we should have enough for what we want to do here. I'm not entirely sure, but anyway, I'm going to keep at this. We'll make enough of this reinforced obsidian, so hopefully we'll be able to spawn in the wither boss, and I think we're just going to take it. I don't know if we want to do it up here or not. The problem is, if I place this stuff down and then I want to move it later, like it takes a while to mine. Like it's not ridiculous, but if you're placing down full stacks worth, yeah, that's going to take a while. So I think what we might do is just go all the way down to our branch mine down here. Yeah, if anything bad happens, whatever, it's in the branch mine, right? It's not in our base. I think we're just going to set a thing up probably all the way at the end over here just so we can fight the wither boss and a little bit of safety or whatever. So, yep, I'm going to keep at it and make some more of the dark steel so we can make some more of the witherproof obsidian. And we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys. Well, here we go. We got ourselves a box that is 4 tall and 3x3 on the inside. So yeah, we got a window here where we can reach in and hit the wither boss. I think we should be able to hit it from any single direction. Like it can't hide from us. I think with it like this, and I don't think it can escape. So anyway, we have a access point on the top here where I can get inside. So this is where we're gonna do it. Well, this is how we're gonna get it set up anyway. So we'll go ahead and do this action, and then we'll place the skulls in such a way. I think what I'm gonna do is on the way out of here, yeah, we can, I think I can reach to place a skull here, otherwise I can fly a little bit. I will place the reinforced obsidian on the roof just in case, because I don't know if it'll be able to like fly up and break out and do all this stuff. I do know the wither boss can fall down like a 1x1 area, so it can probably make its way out of there if we're not careful. So yeah, we definitely want to do that. Okay, so I think we should be ready. I don't really know if there's anything to expect that's different from the wither boss in this mod pack, or if there's anything different from the wither boss after 1.8, the last time that I fought one. So I guess we'll find out here in just a moment. So let's place the final skull. We'll place that there. Yeah, and if I die, hopefully we'll be able to die out here or whatever, and then we'll be able to get our stuff, and the wither boss won't be able to get out. All right, so it looks like it broke some blocks. That's interesting. But yeah, it did not get out of here. Oh, it's stuck. Can I get it from the corner? Oh, it sees something. Can I hit it? Nope. It is right there, and I can't quite get to it, unfortunately. Okay, well, that's unfortunate. I guess we're gonna need like something to get his attention, like a bow and arrow or something. So we'll leave it right there. It shouldn't be able to go anywhere. Yeah, I didn't realize that the explosions would go out the corners like that. Well, I guess we'll have to make some more of the obsidian, the reinforced obsidian, to prevent that from happening in the future. Do we have a bow or anything? All right, we have that. Do we have any arrows? We do. All right, so we'll do it this way. Get its attention. Hopefully it'll come to that front window, or we can just shoot it with the bow. Either way, we'll be able to take care of this thing, and it won't be able to get out. Let me grab the bow. There we go. Oh, now it's right here. Well, this is easy. Cool. I believe, yeah, we can get it from right like that. Okay, so we did not get another star. That's interesting. Oh wait, there it is. There it is. I don't know why I didn't. Okay, we're picking stuff up as we move around. We got some redstone, another star. I guess that's all we get out of there. Okay, well, that's not so bad. So I guess we can go ahead and do some more. Yeah, unfortunately, the wither boss went off to the corner. I guess it got aggro on like that zombie or whatever is over here. It was like trying to get to it. Let's do a couple more of these things. It seems like that's going to be pretty easy. And might as well, since we're already at it. I had enough for 3 different bosses on me. So then that, come up here. Let me grab the reinforced obsidian. Like so. Oh, me out of here. I don't want to take damage to that initial explosion. Yeah, I think we should be able to get its attention by hitting it with a bow and arrow this time. Maybe not. Oh yeah, we got it. There we go. That's easy. This is easy mode. Okay, so we got 2 nether stars. Looks like we might end up dying. I'm not sure. We probably are going to need some regeneration. No, our food, it looks like it's regenerating a little bit. How are we doing on that wither effect? Yeah, we might end up dying. I don't know. Our food is definitely keeping us healed, so hopefully our hunger comes back so we can eat some more. Let me try running. There we go. Alright, I don't think we'll die. So Wither 2, not as bad as it used to be. It used to be instant death unless you had regeneration potions, but thankfully the food has been changed in 1.10. Cool. Well, anyway, guys, I tell you what, I'm going to fight the Wither boss at least one more time before next episode. I want to get some more stars just for various different things. But yeah, you can see that it's not so bad for us to attack it and take it on. So hopefully next time we'll be able to take a look at that extra utilities 2 mining thing. Yeah, definitely interested in checking that out. But anyway, guys, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on this episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.